Welcome back to the Casual Chaos Podcast. It's the sports wagering community, everybody. Welcome back. This is a special 4th of July weekend podcast. I am Jay Ash, your host, and I am joined this week running a two-man game with Jeff. Jeff, what's happening, man?
Hey, Ash. How are you, buddy?
Doing great. Apologize to the listeners and the fan base for only getting to our dear friend and co-host Bubba. He's out of town with the family for the 4th of July. We're going to give him a pass this week. He put in proper HR paperwork, so he's on a little vacation. We do have a special return from the incomparable producer Tyler. He is back in the saddle. Tyler, what's up, buddy?
We're doing good. We're treading water a little bit, but we're alive. So we got 2 kids now, and we're dealing with the man-on-man defense right now.
All right. Glad to have it. Maybe we'll run some pick and roll for the kids a little later.
There you go. Love it.
So, all right. Well, again, Casual Chaos, the sports wagering community. Please follow us on all the socials at Casual Chaos Live. That's all your usual suspects. X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube. If you're socialing, check us out. Follow us at Casual Cast Live. If you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, do us a favor, hit that little subscribe button while it's still free. Spotify, Apple, wherever you may pod. If you're listening to this, it means you've already found us. If it's your first time, welcome in. We'd love to have you. This is all about the fan base, the listeners, and, really shouting out what people send in or topics, etc. This week's going to be a little bit abbreviated. We're probably going to run, 15, 20 minutes tonight. We're going to do some talking tickets and just, with Bubba gone, maybe we'll talk some hockey. I doubt it, but I figured I'd throw it out there. So since he's a hockey blocker. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Let's get some tickets going. Let's see what we got in the talking ticket category. Producer Tyler.
Yes, sir. So we got this first one. We had a pretty good UFC card this weekend. We have $1 Ant here. Unfortunately, threw this $50 parlay in there for Raval and Cara France to both get the W. I think just straight up like money line kind of style bet here. Unfortunately, he nailed it the other way. It looks like Joshua Van got the unanimous decision over Roval and I don't even say this last name, Pantoja, submitted Cara France. So unfortunately, our friend $1 Ant did not get the W here. But I'm sure he kept swinging throughout the night with the UFC card, tons of fights. So we'll put him in the loser column today, but that doesn't mean he's there for good.
Unless you're using some form of Google Translate. Probably best if you're hooked on phonics, if you can't pronounce the name, you probably don't want to bet it or go the other way.
Yeah, tough ones in the UFC sometimes. I'm looking at about 8 names here on my screen, and I can do Joshua Van. That's the one I can do for sure. I'm pretty sure I got that one right.
I like it. 5 letters or less.
Yes,
that's how
exactly.
I like my fighters.
We got another loser here. Unfortunately, we had Rain Man thrown into the Cubs. I know. Bubba always likes to talk about he's kind of a pseudo Cubs fan. I think Rain Man has kind of joined him in that regard. He had the Cubs money line here from the other day. I believe this was Thursday or Friday of last week, and unfortunately, the Cubs took the L in this game here. The Cubs, I think, have been playing some good baseball though lately. I haven't been following 100% with baseball yet. I'm still like a month out from baseball being interesting to me. But the Cubs, unfortunately, for Rain Man, got the L here.
Well, speaking of that, the Florida teams are doing really well right now. I mean, Tampa's been playing well for a while, and the Marlins have won, what, 8 in a row, 9 in a row?
8 in a row. Yeah. Longest streak in baseball at the moment.
Yeah, I think I saw that this is the first time they've won 8 games in like 10, 15 years or something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like baseball, you can get a little lucky and hot at one point. 8 games isn't that crazy. That's 3 series.
I'm against them tonight, and go figure that the Twins are a favorite in Miami with an unfavorable pitching matchup. Funny how that works out.
Another loser here for the Rain Man. He's got Giancarlo in his first game back in a while. He had him to hit a home run, and he had the over in runs in this game the other night, which he nailed it. It was over 7. I think the Blue Jays put up 15 or something like that on the Yankees, but he also had the Yankees with a minus 1.5 run. So unfortunately, took the L on 2 of the 3 there, so it's not going to pay out anything. But Yankees on a little bit of a skid here.
Yeah, this is the 3rd year in a row where they've struggled in June for whatever reason. So, it's obviously just a coincidence, but 3rd year in a row. By the way, we'll give you a pass because you've had bigger things to worry about. But Stanton's been back for a few weeks, so and he still hasn't.
Not that you would know it.
Yeah.
Not that you would really know it.
Yeah,
good
exactly.
point.
Yeah. So
Anyway, rough elbows.
But that's what we got there for talking tickets there, guys. Keep sending them in when you got them, even if it's obscure stuff. I mean, I know we got the hot dog eating contest, 4th of July this week. We got the hot dog eating contest. Anything that you guys are betting on, send it in, man. We'd love to talk about it and chat with you about it.
Is Big Chug in it this year?
Big Chug, I'm sure is. I'm sure. What's it? The Badlands? Is that his nickname?
Oh yeah,
yeah. He'll win the lemonade drinking contest right before the hot dog eating contest.
Chestnut is back, right? He missed last year, right? He wasn't allowed to compete or whatever.
Yeah, the sponsorship snafu.
Yeah, great. What a just a fumble by Nathan's Hot Dogs. How do you not let that guy go in?
Yeah,
I mean, let them meet. It's a chant as old as time.
Correct. But yes, Joey Chestnut will be back, going for his 17th Nathan's Hot Dog eating contest victory. And he's only done it like 20 times. So I think he's only gotten beat twice. So, yeah, he's only been beaten twice straight up.
It's crazy.
Which is insane. I think Kobayashi, one of his first years when he was competing, and then Matt Stoney, who's got a huge YouTube following. He's got some crazy videos out there eating. He beat him 1 year as well. But besides that, yeah, he's a minus 2,000 for you guys. You want a sure thing. You're going to have to put some money up, but a sure thing is Joey Chestnut winning on, what is it, Friday?
Yeah, 4th. It's on the 4th, right?
4th, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, minus 2,000.
Did we hear any whispers of Stoney being on PEDs at the time of his win? It just seems like a very random thing to knock off Joey Chestnut.
Maybe I think Joey Chestnut likes himself some beers, so maybe he just felt like I've won 15 in a row. I think I could probably take a drink break the day before or something. Who knows?
Couple IPAs.
Yeah. He says he does go out after, which is crazy that he drinks beer after eating 60 plus hot dogs. It's insane. I can't fathom it, but there are some good lines on the Hard Rock. Our friends over at the Hard Rock do have some good lines for, winners besides Joey Chestnut. So there might be some opportunity to win some money in that regard, or some over and unders markets. His over under is 71 or more hot dogs in 10 minutes.
It's crazy.
I'm going over.
Yeah, I think you do. It's minus 130.
And I think 15, 20 years ago, the winner used to be like 30 hot dogs, it's gone up exponentially over the past couple decades.
It's probably like we were talking about last week, AAU, single focus. I got off the chicken wings at 12 and I just focused on hot dogs, that type of thing. I had a trainer.
Crazy. He was talking on a Barstool podcast, and they asked him how many do you really think that you could get? What's like the human capacity? You can throw a baseball only so fast, right? The human arm can only go so fast. How much can you physically eat? And he was like, I think you can get a little over 80. He was like, if you could get the perfect situation, he was like, if it's indoors, I can eat way more. He was going into if it's not windy, if it's indoors, if they're cooked on time, there is a complete and utter science to eating hot dogs that you just would never think about. That he talks about. It's kind of crazy, but yeah. So we got that. That's America personified right there. Is the Nathan's hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July in Coney Island.
Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by America.
Yeah, damn right, baby.
All right, well that's gonna do it. Now that we got into the science of hot dogs, I don't think there's anything else to cover. So,
we got a couple things going on now. The NBA has gone upside down now.
Hey, the Lakers finally got a center. Did you see that?
I saw that. The Lakers got a center and the Knicks got a coach.
Yeah.
And I love how they do.
Yeah.
I just saw a headline of Mike Brown is the 7th all-time winning percentage coach in the NBA, because that's what I think of when I think of Mike Brown. I think top 10.
Yeah.
So this will be his 5th team, I think, 6th team. And he actually has had success. I mean, it's not like he's been an awful coach, but to me, it's a downgrade. They went from Tibbs to Brown, and it's just if you told them that would have been the outcome before they fired Tibbs, I guarantee you they wouldn't have fired Tibbs.
I'm sure somebody will put this out if it's not out already. But I would like to see Mike Brown's numbers away from LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah. It can't be great, right?
No, I mean, he had a decent little run in Sacramento, but that got flipped upside down in a hurry, right? He just became Mike Brown again. So we'll see what happens. If I'm a Knicks fan, I'm not ecstatic about it. Like their offseason moves so far, definitely, brought in 2 professionals anyway that can help them off the bench.
Yeah, they added some depth, which they definitely did not have last year.
So. Yeah. So, how deep you want to get on the Ayton thing?
Yeah, I mean, look, they needed the center. He was the last guy out there, unless they, could swing a trade or whatever. So, good for them, I guess.
He's not my favorite player in any stretch, and he obviously hasn't lived up to number 1 potential like he was drafted. But he is a double-double when he shows up. So if you're the Lakers, that's all you really need. It's an upgrade from Jackson Hayes and anybody else they had. So if he can give you 12 and 10 a night, you're in ball games.
He plays defense. He rebounds. I'm sure he'll get a bunch of alley-oops from Luka, so we'll see. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it'll all depend on what he looks like in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So,
and he's still, 25?
Is he that young?
He's super young.
Yeah, he's pretty young.
Yeah.
I did hear some
19.
Yeah, I heard some rumblings about him again on another podcast. Some NBA guys that do a podcast, they were talking about apparently he's got an ego, which doesn't make sense to me because I mean, how much has he done in the NBA to have an ego? But they said that he that'll be one thing that he needs to get in check before getting in the door there, because there's too many egos in that room. If he's also got an ego, when you got LeBron in there.
Egos with accolades too.
Yeah, rightfully so. Egos, not DeAndre Ayton. But I think it's a good pickup for him. Yeah. They need some sharpshooters though, for sure, because I don't know how good Luka. Luka can score in a variety of ways, but they need some guy to be able to just post up in the corner and hit some threes when they do drive and pop. Austin Reeves, you need a couple more guys, I think.
Yeah, they still have work to do. I'll be surprised if this is their final roster. So we'll see.
Yeah. When they trade LeBron, we'll see what happens.
Hey, man, it might happen. You never know.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to hit on Milwaukee, or do you want to hit on Denver first?
Well, let's talk about Denver. Just happy that they're legitimately trying to build a team around, Joker. Whereas last year they did not. I mean, they had 3.5 real guys on that team last year. You know, so at least this and look, and Denver, Denver took OKC to 7 games. Even with the fact that they didn't have a real team, so they're trying to put a real roster around them. We'll see, if everybody stays healthy, of course. I mean, that's always the big thing. But I like Denver this year. With that team, I like them a lot. So
yeah, they're back to 8-1. So they're the second lowest odds to OKC's 235. Still plus, like I said last week. I like the Cam deal. I mean, you got out of the Porter Jr. business. You bring in Cam. Like we were texting earlier in the week, the stats are almost identical, but he can do a lot more offensively in that offense. So it's going to be fun to watch him play. Bruce Brown's back. Valanciunas is a great 10, 15 minute a guy.
Yeah. They finally got a backup center, for Joker. And again, back to your point about those guys being kind of very similar. The difference is now he's going to play with Joker, you know what I mean?
100%.
And he's going to get far more open shots. I mean, it's going to be his numbers will go up. I'll be shocked if his numbers
go up. The other Brown will play better if Murray's healthy, Gordon's healthy. I mean, that's going to be at 8-1, you put a little on them, put a little on OKC. I don't see anybody else coming out of the West.
I was going to say the other team that improved a lot is Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it would look like it's a 3-team race out west, you would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Houston added a lot of depth. They got Durant, so they finally got a second scorer. I mean, I guess he'll be the first scorer on that team, but at least now they have 2 legitimate scorers on that team. Mm-hmm. So they got a good coach. They play defense, and like I said, they're 2 or 3 deep at every position. I mean, they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, well, and they got moves to make. I mean, if they want to make moves, they can.
Yeah,
right. They got enough contracts. They got enough players. They are plus 850 to.
So they're right behind Denver.
Win the championship, and let's just check out the West. Yeah, plus 450 to win the West. It's OKC plus 150, Rockets plus 450, Denver plus 500, which makes no sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense. But
they got a better chance to win the NBA championship, but not better than to win the West. Which doesn't mathematically can't happen.
No.
Yep. We'll have to message somebody at our friends at the Hard Rock, see what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Jeepers.
You asked about Milwaukee. As far as Milwaukee goes, I'm not necessarily as down on that as a lot of other people seem to be. I don't know. I mean, what was their option, right? If they don't get rid of Dame, they can't sign anybody because they have no money. They had no money to sign anybody. So they weren't going to trade him, right? I mean, he can't play next year, so who's going to actually trade for him?
No, I'm with you.
I don't know. I know you're not arguing with me, but it just seems like a lot of people are shitting on that deal, and I get why they are, because 3 years from now, when they're paying him $20 million, well, they're not paying him, but when they're getting hit $20 million with dead money on the cap, and he's not there anymore, and maybe Giannis isn't even there anymore. 3 years from now, who knows? I understand it's gonna be a pain in the ass, but for right now, for the right here and now, I don't know what else they were supposed to do. So
I think that you shit out a deal when the deal happened, right? He was already getting paid, let's call it too much money, right? An aging smaller guard that doesn't play defense, right? And then when he got to Milwaukee, he wasn't in shape. His shooting declined, his minutes declined. He got a couple injuries here and there, and then last year, obviously, he had to rush back from a DVT, which is never, I speak from experience, not easy to do. And he tears his Achilles, and he's at an advanced age now. And I get running that out 5 years. It helps your books a little bit. It was a bad contract, even if he didn't get hurt. So blessing in disguise that he got hurt and you got to dump him with the dead cap money. Okay, you bring in Turner, which we heard today. He's a great center, but let me give you the laundry list of things he doesn't do well. And he was, is he a product of that Indiana system? Anybody that gets paired up with Joker in the front court is going to look better, is going to play better. He should get more rebounds. He should get more, he should score more points around the basket, unless they're going to stick him in the corner, which makes no sense. And I'm just down on that surrounding cast as a whole.
Oh yeah.
Right. Tell me again that Bobby Portis Jr. is a good re-sign for the fifth time.
But again, they're playing in the East, right? And sure. I mean, who's the dominant team in the East right now? I mean, Indiana took a step back. Boston took a step back. I mean, Cleveland, maybe, right?
Maybe Atlanta made some great moves. Orlando made some
good moves. And the Knicks, right? So Orlando, the Knicks. I mean, so they're with Giannis. I mean, they're lumped in with those teams. You can't make me believe that those teams are that much better than what Milwaukee is right now.
No, he basically averaged a triple-double from the All-Star break on. So I'm right there with you. But again, I just don't like the construction of that team.
No, no, but that's the thing. They got, they don't really have a way to change it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So that's basically what they're stuck with. I was listening to Simmons today. He put out a new pod today, and he was just like, they should have just traded Giannis. They shouldn't be trying to fix things around him right now. They should have just, hit clear and did a full rebuild. And I don't know if I agree with that either, personally. But I mean, I think that is the only other option, right? I mean, that would be the only other option, is just to get rid of him and start completely over. But starting over is not as easy as it sounds. Sometimes these teams are like they're just in nowhere land for like a decade because they can't get the next great player, So
well, and it's all the time frame too. I think the only team that had any chance of making a trade for him if he wanted to go to Brooklyn was the fact that they had 4 or 5 first-round picks that they could have thrown at them. Could have done it this year if you're Milwaukee. You don't have to. You're rebuilding this year, and you're going to move some of those picks to get future picks, and you call it a 2 or 3 year plan. You still have the Dame money, but you're going to have multiple players for Giannis. And listen, we don't need to get into capology or any of that shit, but look, I agree with you. You might as well keep probably the best healthy player in the East right now. And you've got a chance. I just don't think the rest of the team is very good, and they don't have any flexibility in this season to move, to fix the team. And whether the reports are true or not, if he's going to turn into the guy that is doing the whack-a-mole every other month, I'm not happy. What's that getting him? So looking at the East odds right now, you got Cleveland plus 60 to come out of the East, the Knicks plus 300, the Magic plus 550, the Celtics plus 550, the Sixers plus 1,000, which makes no sense, and the Hawks plus 1,600.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Philly, which is kind of funny.
Detroit plus 1,600 as well. I mean, I would take the Hawks and the Pistons over the Sixers, and I'm a Sixer fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the thing with the Sixers is it's the same old story. I mean, if Embiid stays healthy, they'll be very dangerous. But he hasn't stayed healthy for how long? He
won't be healthy.
Yeah, it's almost a guarantee.
Yeah. I mean, and they don't do it for obvious reasons, but I mean, if you had a number come up, over under Embiid 60 games, you're going to hammer the under, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, trying to think, there was nothing else that was like, but I think we said it the other day in a text, Jeff, on Monday. While not monumental free agent, there wasn't a huge free agent class anyway, but between the draft, the draft day moves, and then this flurry of free agency over the weekend and early this week, it's been exciting. Like it's been fun to watch. Every time your X feed buzzes, you're like, oh, okay, great. Shams is reporting. Right? Yeah. So it's been fun to keep up with. And I think it's the best part about the NBA and the NBA culture of today is whether you watch the games all the time, they do a great job of staying relevant almost all year round.
Yeah. Well, it will die. It'll die down now, though. I mean, this is it. This is it. Yeah. So, and then let's just wrap it up real quick with the Celtics. I just see so many fans out there who are like, throwing up their hands, pissed off that the Celtics are going to stink next year, and I just don't know what they thought the team was going to be next year. You know what I mean? If they kept the team together exactly the way it was, they were going to pay $500 million in salary and penalties. Okay.
Yeah.
And if Tatum was healthy, who knows? Maybe the new owners would have actually done that. But they're not going to pay that kind of money in a year where they know they're not going to win a championship. So what they did make complete sense. Getting rid of Porzingis makes complete sense. He's only there for one more year, right? So, again, you're not going to pay him in a year that you're not winning anything. So, because they definitely weren't bringing him back. Like, they weren't going to extend him again. So, getting rid of him made perfect sense. Getting rid of Drew, as good of a guy he is and as good of a team guy he is, last year was probably his worst year in the league.
Yeah, he's borderline washed.
Yeah, so moving on from him and getting off of that contract was a minor miracle. They didn't have to include any draft picks to do it. Next year is a gap year. The Celtics are doing everything they can to prepare for 26, 27. They don't really care about 25, 26. They want to be competitive, right? And with Brown and White and Pritchard and Hauser, maybe Simons, who knows if they keep them. I mean, they're going to be competitive next year. They're just not going to be a title team, and they never were going to be. So.
As long as you can make an assumption that Tatum a full year, because again, there's no reason to bring him back for any reason next year. Not even a late playoff run if you're the 8th seed. Let's just say 7th seed, 6th seed, whatever. If you could say he's going to be 85 to 90% of himself in 26, 27, right? It's like you picked up a free agent who was already on your books, right? So there's all of a sudden your big two are back and they're playing the free agent game and they're clearing the cap room to pick up the third and fourth guy that year. You get to develop a couple of the younger guys. If Simons works out, great. If he doesn't, he's one and done. Great. And they're not going to rebuild from the draft. They're not going to tank. So it makes perfect sense to shed all that cap space and, like you said, have a gap year. I think anybody that really follows basketball, unless you're like just a crazy fan and you can't, see the forest through the trees, you just like win at all costs because that's what you think is the right thing to do. From a business standpoint, it's an unbelievable. It's amazing they pulled it off. They shouldn't have been able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, I should follow up. So it would have been $500 million. It's down to $200 million. So they saved $300 million with those couple of moves they made. Now I think technically they're back over the second apron by like $1 million or something like that. So they are going to have to get rid of somebody. Maybe it's Simons, maybe it's Hauser. They're going to have to make another trade. But what they did was the right thing. And like you said, they'll have to rebuild. Like they'll have to add a couple players once Tatum is healthy again, right, to build back around him and Brown. But for now, what they have is fine. So,
all right.
And we talk about Atlanta? Did you mention Atlanta? They were another
mentioned
team.
Atlanta. I mean, I don't think we need to go player by player, but they put a lot of pieces together. They stacked their defense up, helps protect Trey. They're going to be young. They're going to be super athletic, and if they stay healthy, they're going to be. I think they're vying for a top 4 seed for sure.
It's probably the best team he's had there, right? It's probably the best team that he's had around.
It's better. It's better than that Eastern Conference championship team.
Yeah, which was a fluke. Yeah,
that was a fluke, right?
So. But we got another team that's banking on Porzingis being healthy. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Good
luck. Again, over under 60. You're hammering the under. All right. You got any baseball?
Nah. The All-Star breaks in a couple weeks, and once we get through that, Tyler will start paying attention to baseball. So we could pick it up in a couple weeks. I mean, the Yankees are getting hammered right now.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're again having their typical bad June. So
I don't like it.
No,
I don't like it. All right, if we're not going to talk baseball, I will throw this out, Tyler. I don't know if you're paying attention this week. You got John Deere Classic coming up. Typically, I wouldn't give out these types of plays, but since we're not going to do bragging rights, if you're looking for a little golf action this weekend, Ben Griffin at 12-1, finished T5 last year in this tournament. He's the best golfer on the board, still playing very well. I would look to cash in on him. But the top 4 guys, Jason Day, Denny McCarthy, Davis Thompson, plus 20, or should I say, plus 2,500, plus 2,200, plus 3,000, respectively. I think any piece of those 4, it's going to be a chalk style tournament. This is another one of those minus 18 to minus 22 final scores. So look to play those 4 outright and top 10s. They're all plus money top 10, which is really surprising. So, and I would also take a look at Davis Thompson at plus 5,000, 50-1 for first round score. He shot a 62 or maybe a 63 last year. He took the first round last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs it back this year. It looks like that course is made for him.
Yeah, that course usually good putters. Look at the good putters. Like Jordan Spieth won there a couple times. Steve Strickler's won there a couple times. If you got a guy that can put the lights out, go with those guys. So Denny McCarthy's one to definitely look McCarthy, at. Yeah, I mean the guy just puts the brains out of it. So I mean that's the one I would look at. Are
you going to go putts his nuts out?
I don't know what I was going to do, to be honest with you. First day back, first game jitters. I did want to hit on something baseball.
All right.
Just quick, Cal Raleigh. We haven't really. I don't know how much we've really talked about. I mean, that guy's going off right now. I saw a stat the other day. Home runs before the start of July, he's 3rd all time. Yeah. He had 33 home runs before July. The only 2 guys in front of him, Mark McGwire in 98 had 37, and Bonds in 01 had 39. So he's doing some special shit over there in Seattle. I mean, we don't hear about him because he's like 7 zip code or 7 time zones away from us. It feels like over there in Seattle, but dude's killing it right now.
Well, maybe you don't hear about him. It'd be nice if you
listen to normal people that don't watch baseball. Yeah, we don't hear about him.
Yeah, no, he's having a great year, and we did touch on him a little bit last week. The thing that you worry about with him is just him being a catcher, right? And catchers usually wear down as the year goes along. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, I'd love to see him and Judge have a real home run chase. In the second half of the season. Yeah, that'd be
fun.
Cool.
That'd be something to watch, Jeff. That'd be something to watch.
we actually put up a short on him 2 days ago. So
there you go.
Yeah, so hopefully get a little momentum on that short.
There we go.
All All right. Well, like I said, we're not going to do bragging rights because Bubba's not here. And it's probably a well-deserved break for everybody. I think we went collectively 0 for 3 last week. I lost my part. I had 3 out of 4, which, as we know, is not a winner. But I lost the one game in the 11th inning. One of three games last week I lost in extra innings. And I lost the golf tournament in a 7-hole playoff. So not happy.
No, Tyler, I don't remember what I did last week with bragging rights, but Tyler, listen to this one. So I had sent Ashton a text that I think it was the Saturday game, Jay. I think it was the Saturday last Saturday. I had Judge hitting a homer, Jazz hitting a homer, and the Yankees winning by at least 3 runs. Okay, that was the game that got crushed. It was probably that ticket that you threw up earlier. But the kick in the nuts is that exact parlay hit the next day.
Yeah, that's happened twice on our podcast now. Like something like that. Twice. Crazy how it happens. You weren't wrong. You were just early, Jeff. You weren't wrong. Yeah. You were just early.
Ahead of my time.
Yeah, exactly.
So. All right, fellas. Happy 4th to you.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. We'll be back regular schedule, full pod next week. Bubba, Tyler, the whole crew will be here. We're looking forward to it. We wanted to get something out to everybody. Thanks to all the support and the fans. Everybody enjoy your 4th of July. Stay safe. No Roman candle, wiffle ball, or anything crazy like that. Let's keep the fireworks out of your hands.
Yeah. Come back with all your fingers.
Yeah. If you play for the Bucks, please keep all the your fingers and fireworks separate. Follow us on all the socials at Casual Chaos Live. Thanks again. We will catch up with everybody next week. Enjoy the weekend, everybody.
All right.
Peace. Hi, everyone. This is Jay Ash, one of the hosts of the Casual Chaos podcast you are about to listen to discusses gambling and wagering on sporting events. Please be advised the gambling and sports wagering content during this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial or gambling advice. Sports wagering involves significant risk. If you choose to gamble, please do so responsibly and only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. All opinions, wagering tickets discussed, or implied wagers on the Casual Chaos podcast are not guarantees to result in financial gain. You must be 21 years or older or of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction to participate in sports wagering. Please verify the gambling and sports wagering laws and regulations within your jurisdiction prior to placing bets. Listeners are solely responsible for their own wagering decisions and outcomes. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. We encourage everyone to engage with sports betting responsibly. The host and the Casual Cast podcast assume no liability for any losses incurred as a result of listening to this content.